Hey, y'all, how you doing tonight? Let me hear you say yeah.
Yeah!
All right, welcome to now this is the 6th installment of Jive in the Round. I think I said that last time, but I got myself confused because I made these cards to promote it, and we had 2 guests one time, so I got out of track with the amount of shows we did. But I'm so excited about our guest tonight, Mr. Scott Tipping. Scott, the guitar was so lucky the day it laid eyes on you. I don't know how it found you, but I look forward to finding out.
All right.
When was the first time you ever did anything creative when you were a kid? Did you used to doodle?
Well, no. I'm terrible with drawing. The first time musically something creative. Well, the first time music actually hit me was my mom took me to see my dad was in a wedding band, and she took me when I was in first grade to the Holiday Inn to see my dad's band play. And that was the most insane thing I'd ever seen. Like, everyone was dancing, having a good time, and the guitar at that point really spoke to me. It was a thing.
Hello. Hi.
Yeah, it was a thing. It was a thing from then on.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And had you seen your dad playing guitar before that, or was it the first time?
He had played in the house a lot. When we were kids, the turntable was always on, and he was playing, but I think it was the first time that I remember where I got to see the effect of music and everybody having a good time and dancing and stuff, and that was profound.
I'm feeling like my dad's doing that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so he was playing electric guitar?
Yeah, he was playing electric guitar.
What was the size of the band? How many folks were in the band?
4-piece band.
That's a big sound then.
Yeah, 2 guitars, bass, and drums, a classic. And the 3 of the dudes sang, so they did a lot of old, like, Beatles and Beach Boys type stuff, and stuff that we commonly now think of from, like, 60s music things.
We need more of that music at weddings, I think.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I'm with you.
So did your dad? So one of the things I know about you, or that I like to see from afar, is your infatuation with vinyl.
Yeah.
And the guitars and everything. Did your dad used to sit around and play along to the vinyls and stuff, or was it more like a separate?
I used to view. I don't mean this in a disrespectful way to anybody, but his stereo was like this sacred church to me as a young kid. It sounded incredible. It was beautiful, and I like to also say that, you know, when 8-tracks were a thing, I was an influencer because I had stuck a peanut butter sandwich in the 8-track player trying to get it to play, and my dad upgraded to cassette. So after that, but you know, my family listened to music all the time, and then on evenings he would play acoustic a lot, and that's how I started to hear things. And then when I started to play, my parents had got me this really cheap little 3/4 size acoustic, but that's when I started to put on records and to try to emulate the things that I heard.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
So self-taught in that way.
Mainly self-taught. My dad showed me some chords and different things. What the story that he tells, which I didn't say he did, but he kind of thought that I was going to be pretty decent, because there was one day I asked him to show me something that was a tune that his band played, and he showed me how to play it, and then I said I always thought it went like this. And he said that when I played it, he thought, oh shit, I've been playing it wrong.
Yes.
And I didn't know any better, but he was a great influence. I don't know how much of it was intentional or not, but he helped me train my ear, because we could listen to something together and I would say, how does this go? And he would look at me and say, why don't you show me how this goes?
That's a good
And
teacher, right?
Yeah, he made me work for it, which was beautiful.
Oh man.
Yeah.
What a great childhood. Well,
Yeah,
I got this.
nice.
Were you by a fireplace? I don't know why I'm picturing a fireplace.
There was a fireplace, yeah.
I know what it looked like. Do you remember what that thing was that you played for your dad, and he said that I should play it that way?
Yeah, I could show you that. Although I mean, it's kind of, I don't mean to sell him out, but his band used to do a thing. His band used to do a lot of like I said, 60s and early 70s stuff. And my family grew up with the Doobie Brothers record Toulouse Street, and his band used to play Listen to the Music, and he showed me this. And what I had said, I thought it sounded like this. And there's a difference. It's the same notes, but whatever. Yeah, that was that.
Did he start playing it your way?
Yes, he did.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, because it's
cool.
got all the
It's got
everything else.
Yeah, it's that's what it is, you know. Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Cool.
And so you learned music like that. So your first instrument ever was the guitar. Did you ever play anything else around anything else?
Yeah. Well, in order to play guitar, there was like a compromise. I had to take piano lessons.
Your dad said that?
Yeah, my dad and mom, and actually it was a really beautiful thing because it kind of taught me fundamentals of music. I still absolutely love piano and consider it my first instrument, even though my skill set is really terrible these days because I've let it go. But I absolutely love the piano. At the time, I hated the fact that they were making me take lessons. Now I think it was a beautiful thing.
Yeah, I'm thankful for it.
Yeah, totally.
Is it any way like riding a bike at all?
Yeah, well, in a certain way, yeah. I have a piano at the house, and I don't get to it enough. But it is like riding a bike. I guess the thing is, as you age, I feel like you start to learn more and more of what you want to do. So it's not like those old skills. It's kind of like getting on a bike, but then you think like, I want to be able to do what I can do with this on there, which is kind of a different thing.
And kind of frustrating sometimes.
Yeah, but fun, you know. Yeah.
And so, when you first were creative on your own with an instrument, was that the piano, or was that
Yeah.
trying to create something?
Yeah. What happened with I had this piano teacher when I was in second grade. That was my second grade teacher, and she was this amazing hippie that had a bathtub in her front yard that she had painted all these psychedelic colors, and she loaned me the Beatles' Let It Be on VHS, and I adored her and just loved learning music from her. And then she left town, and my second piano teacher actually had like a ruler and would hit your wrists and stuff.
Oh,
that was less fun. It was less fun, but she was also really cool because she could see that I had a creative side, and she'd let me engage in certain things. And towards the end of my piano lessons, we had a 4-track at our house, and I was allowed to like get the music for Strawberry Fields, but then go home and create something for the recital on the 4-track and play live to it. So she was a cool teacher.
So what would you create like how would you do that on a 4-track? Would you make
at the time, like we had like a guitar, a cheap bass, and a keyboard. So I would like make my own backing track and then play on top of it at the recital.
Oh, that's great.
Well, yeah. I mean, it probably wasn't as like it probably sounds cooler than it actually sounded in the moment, but it but it taught me a lot.
It's neat to give you the ability to make the whole thing on your own. And,
Yeah.
Not like she has a backing group, you know.
Yeah, well, and the thing that I look at in retrospect, because at the time, I was always disgruntled taking lessons from that person because they were very formal and I wasn't. But what I look at in retrospect was how she adapted her lessons to fit what I wanted to do, and for that I'm super grateful.
Yeah, thankfully you had some teachers that knew what was going on.
Yeah.
Some open eyes and ears.
Yeah, super cool.
So when was the first time that when you first wrote something on your own? So when you were learning stuff on piano, did you ever make piano songs or something that you riffs and stuff, or how
Oh,
what do
yeah.
they call it in piano? Licks?
There were no really licks. I started writing tunes. The first ones were probably around second grade and fifth grade, And then when we had that 4-track, that also was like a kind of thing for creativity. There would be these little half songs that would come out, or little layered instrumental things.
Yeah. When was the first time you think you wrote something that you wanted to go? Did you used to go sing something for your dad, or if you wrote something, or was there a time when you finally put something together?
I don't, what's interesting is this is the interesting thing about my musical upbringing, because my dad gets credited a lot, as he should.
Yeah, you said your mom at first. Yeah.
My mom, though, is also really heavy in my musical influence. It's interesting, if I go play guitar, like if we do a show where there's a lot of guitar playing, I've got a proud dad. But if I write tunes and stuff like that, that's the stuff I play for my mom. Like, I don't mean this in a negative way, but I don't think he really cares too much about my writing. He likes my guitar playing. My mom kind of takes in the whole thing, I think. If they watch this on YouTube, I don't mean that offensively to
no,
either
but
of them.
that's a very specific thing, or two different kinds of musical fans and stuff, and something that I used to be jealous of, somebody that could come, because you'd hear it quite a bit, that somebody would come and they'd say, I loved it, I'm sorry I didn't hear what you were saying, I wasn't paying attention to the words, but I love the music.
Right.
Like, how could you listen to it and not pay attention to the words?
Right.
But then, and so, but it seemed like those kind of people really enjoy music, and they go, I come because I just like the feeling and everything. And I finally got that with listening to Spanish music.
Oh, yeah.
And just anything that I didn't know the words to.
Yeah.
And I got the whole, what they're going for. And so I finally kind of feel like I grasped that a little bit.
That's a really good point. And I also think, like, in my dad's case, he has this wonderful little umbrella of music that's like his thing, and it, I don't want to say that it stopped at a certain point, but it's kind of in this container. And so the things that I do that fit in that container really speak to him.
Yeah.
And my mom kind of is still listening and checking out.
Those are two great people to find each other.
Oh, they're fantastic. They've been happily married since they were, well, I don't know about happily. No, I'm just kidding.
It sounds like yin and yang to me, for sure.
What's that?
Sounds like yin and yang.
Oh, yeah, they're lovely. And they were lovely as far as influence is concerned, because they both had different things they brought to the table for me musically,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, do you have and not necessarily if you planned on playing it, but do you have one of the earliest things that you can remember that you put together to play a couple of seconds of that for us?
I don't know. No.
That's okay. Anything that's the first thing that you remember that you liked?
The first thing
Or
that
anything old?
Anything old. Okay, let me think. Well, I put, I mean, the first stuff that I really learned was a lot of like Beatle type stuff, you know, those types of things. Yeah.
Did you sing right away with the guitar, or did you do a
No.
lot of listening because like your dad?
Yeah. In fact, ideally, the idea was to be a guitar player in a band and to not sing.
Yeah.
But then when I was going to school, there was nobody that really sang, and so if you were gonna have a band, you had to sing. So yeah, it was just something that I felt forced to do.
Was high school the first time you put your own band together?
My first band played the 5th grade talent show.
There you go.
Yeah,
That's
there you go.
That's what
We played Steve Martin, King Tut.
Can you play some?
When he was a young man, he never thought he'd see people stand in line to see the boy King Tut. How'd you get so bizarre? Yeah, we had. Yeah, that was a big, and it was kind of weird. My 5th grade teacher, who was very supportive, we were allowed to do King Tut if I did solo Elvis Presley's "Don't Be Cruel." That was the deal. So I sang an Elvis tune.
She must have liked you doing that song.
Yeah, she did. Well, she really loved Elvis and anybody who could sing it. I don't think I was the first one in the talent show throughout the years to sing "Don't Be Cruel." That was like her jam. So I sang it so that my band could play Steve Martin.
I get what she's asking people.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so you started. You wanted to round out your guitar playing kind of and focus on doing that. When did you? So after you had to have the band and the talent show.
Yeah.
Where did that kind of go after? Did you keep singing, or did that band keep playing, or how long did those?
Yeah. The first band. The first band was just like my two buddies were background singers. I played acoustic guitar, and my friend had a snare drum, and that was the band.
That's
and
good.
then by middle school, though, we had two guitars, bass, and drums. And by high school, it was pretty much the same people, and we got like we were pretty good for our age. Like it was cool.
Well, it's neat that you got to grow like that together, and
Yeah.
it's funny to keep a couple guys together like that too, because I know that jumping those ages is everybody wants to get into different stuff.
Yeah, we all got to kind of we all got to kind of grow together, which was really fun, and then kind of as you do grow apart together, which is also sort of a rite of passage. You know?
Yeah, it's a learning. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. I remember the first time somebody told me they didn't think we should be friends anymore. I didn't know what to think about that.
That's terrible.
It's honesty, you know.
Okay.
Right? So
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that wouldn't say that, and they just not call you, you know.
Okay. Well, no.
And then I tried to, you know, if you want to know why, come on, man. Like we get along. They're like, yeah, but I'm not enjoying it. Come on.
Oh, that's painful. I'm
Yeah.
so sorry to hear
It's
that.
okay. I feel like I probably deserved it at some point, you know.
I don't know. You seem like a really nice person.
Yeah, but it's honesty, you know. I think
Yeah.
that, you know, maybe that was a better thing that he said that.
I
But,
get
so
that.
when you were playing
Yeah.
with these dudes, were you guys learning other people's songs or were you writing stuff?
Both.
Okay.
Yeah.
Were you writing a lot of the stuff or
Yeah.
how were,
Yeah. Yeah, I wrote a lot of the tunes. I would say in high school, I didn't bring as many songs to the band because at that time, if you wanted to have a gig, you had to play other people's tunes, was kind of how that went. And so then that kind of rolled over to college when original tunes kind of came back, you know?
okay. In college, people were they were interested in hearing it?
Yeah, well, I don't know if anybody was really interested in hearing it. We just felt like we had more of a platform to do it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the first time I ever played was a talent show and we did You're Still the One.
Oh, yeah. That's great.
Yeah, right?
You still remember any of that? I would like to hear that.
No, and now I know exactly how people feel when I try to ask them to remember the thing that...
Touche. Okay.
Because I think I remember being most concerned about memorizing the solo.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
I'm sure I mucked it up, but it was a rocking moment for me.
Yeah, that's great.
We got going.
I would like to say I was just reliving this, and I have no complaints. Like, I really led a very lovely little privileged life. But when I was a freshman in high school, my little band played the Battle of the Bands at our high school, and we were up against all these senior bands, and we won, and we were a good little band. We were good at what we did, and we were really proud of it. And the second year, we won again, and we were happy, and we were proud of it, or whatever. And then people in my high school started saying that I was becoming super big-headed because I had won Battle of the Bands twice. Which, you know, I mean, who wouldn't get big-headed over such accolades? So my junior year of high school, I went to the vice principal and I said, well, does it have to be a Battle of the Bands? Can't we just have a bunch of bands playing the field house? And everyone rejoiced, and I thought, great, everyone will get off my back. But then there was this rumor going around that I had done that because I knew I would lose the third year in a row. You know? And so in order to keep the title, I got rid of the competition, which is not really what happened. I still harbor it.
I could totally see guessing that.
Yeah.
And he went and talked to him.
Yeah, exactly. I thought I was doing a nice thing, but it wasn't nice.
And you're making him a plaque that says "Final Band."
Right, exactly. Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
So, what's the earliest thing that you feel comfortable that you remember playing for us?
Okay.
That's your response.
Sure.
You're already dropping stuff way back when?
Oh yeah.
I still don't feel comfortable with that.
Oh, come on. This was probably late teens. I don't know how much I'll know of this.
That's okay.
My time is drawing close. I gotta find which way the river goes. I got so far to go, and in my mind it seems impossible. I don't know why ain't it typical. I don't know how it's the reciprocal. I'm moving down the track. I'm moving forward, but I wanna look back. I'd rather see where I've been. Don't wanna know where I'm heading. Don't know why ain't it typical. Don't know how it's the reciprocal. It's like that.
Yeah. What was that? That's fantastic. When was the last time you played that?
Probably when I was like 20.
Dude.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, it's funny that I'm blown away watching you play Simple Stuff. And that was when you were a teenager writing that
Late
stuff?
teens, that one, yeah.
That's good.
Thank you. I don't think there was much more to it than that. You know,
Pretty cool. You could be playing that now.
I don't know about that. There was no bridge or anything, and but it was.
Call it a new song.
That's right. Yeah. There are, that is an interesting thing that I had to wrestle with, like with the last record or this record, and I know we'll talk about all that, but I didn't understand for the longest time that if a song sits in your place forever and you don't take it out, that if you take it out in public, it's a new song. Like, that's okay too. You still created it. You're not resting on your laurels. It just was there kind of waiting for its time to arrive,
Yeah, and I also, realizing that there's parts of songs where I wouldn't play a song because this one part just never feels right. Don't think about that. I could go back and maybe change it,
Right. You can do that. Yeah. It's okay, yeah.
'Cause, there's songs that I threw in the trash because I didn't want to sing this verse that I wrote. Just write in the verse, bud. Stop being so fucking lazy, man.
Yeah. That checks out.
Uh-huh. So high school, you played mostly guitar, and was piano just something you knew how to do, and this is when you were drifting away from it?
Yeah, well, there was a period in college where in bands I used to play.
So you did go to college. Where'd you go to college?
I went to Illinois State.
Woohoo, Redbird.
Oh yeah. I went there and studied English.
Was that helpful?
Well, it depends. No, you know what? I can't complain. I had a good little.
You talk pretty good.
Thank you. I can proofread. That was a gig that I had for a long time. Yeah. I once worked for the Kraft Corporation.
Oh man.
I know.
What, proofreading the labels?
Yeah, I proofread mac and cheese boxes.
Oh wow.
Yeah, for a long time. In fact, this was kind of a weird thing. Was you don't think about stuff like this, but there was a person that I didn't get along with, and I had taken 2 days off because I was extremely hungover, and that person pushed through these mac and cheese boxes without me proofreading it, and it had the wrong nutritional facts on it. And they had this big meeting when I came in about how thousands of these boxes of macaroni and cheese went out with the wrong label on it, and that guy laughed, and then the president of the company was like, no, these boxes are now considered illegal because the nutritional facts have to be right. So they had to hire vans and sticker the boxes throughout the Midwest.
To go all around.
Yeah, and I was very happy because they went through there was like a proofreading folder, and they went through all the signatures, and they were like, Scott wasn't here this day, and I was like, thank God. Thank God I was hungover and missed it. Yeah.
I thought it was funny.
No, he did think it was funny, yeah.
Good dodge.
Yeah, so that ISU, gave me that story right there. So that was worth my education. Yeah, I like to think so.
So when you're playing in college, what was so you're taking English? Did you know that that's what you wanted to do? Were you thinking about music as an option, or was that?
Not really. I kind of thought that I would play music as like a sideline, and that I would find another job that would sort of be how I paid my bills, and this would be something on the side. So at the time, school and music didn't really coincide at all.
Would you make time for music, or did you kind of just let school be your life for a little while?
I played music all the time. In fact, at that point in time, there was a buddy of mine who passed away about a year and a half ago. He was a sweet guy and very much a mentor to me. There was a period of time, though, that he owed me money for gigs, and as a result, I absconded his 88-key weighted piano that I used to keep in my bedroom at school. So I was playing a lot. Yeah, it was fair. And he did pay me back, and everything was cool, but so there was music. Music was sort of my form of sanity to get through college,
Did you meet a group of people because of it and everything? When was your high school band broke up after high school?
Yeah, they broke up, and then I kind of had like a band all through my 20s, and I suppose it was like a long distance relationship where I went to college and we kind of, we just waited for one another, like we weren't able to really open the relationship up, So I would come home to Chicago and gig and then go back to school.
It's like a sensitive bunch of guys, or they wanted to do the same kind of thing.
Yeah,
it's nice having that.
Yeah, when we found each other, we thought we had something. So the idea of playing with other people and stuff, I would go sit in at clubs with different bands, and I was active, but my heart was with that little band at the time.
So when did you start sitting in with other people? Was that college?
Well, okay, this sounds funny, but it's true. One of the first times I sat in with a real band was somewhere in 6th grade. My family went on vacation to Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, and I ended up sitting in with the hotel band a couple of nights in a row. It's true. And the way my dad tells it, which is probably pretty accurate, is that I met them on a set break and wanted to talk to them about music, and then the guitar player kind of screwed something up, and the keyboardist made a joke like, well, why don't we get him up here to play it? And I just thought they were asking me to sit in. And so I walked up and they handed me the guitar, and they were like, well, do you know how to play this? And I said, sure. And then we ended up playing multiple nights in a row. Like I got asked back. No, it's true. My parents were really happy because the bar comped all our food and drinks. They didn't make anything off of it.
Yeah, that's proud, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it was cool. There's a picture somewhere in my house of me with this guy's Les Paul, and it was like the size of me at the time, It was cool.
Was that the first time? What kind of guitar did your dad have? Was gear an obsession or an infatuation of yours early on?
Yeah, well, he has his cherished instrument is a 1968 Gibson 335, and he used to lovingly tell me when I was a kid, I would ask, like, can I play that guitar? And he would say to me with such affection, I will sell you before I sell that guitar. And then he would tell me, no, you're not allowed to play it. But it, yeah. So I don't know if there was a gear obsession per se, but I started to learn about guitars around that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so after you started, what was your age when you played with the band in Mexico?
I was in 6th grade.
6th grade. Okay.
Yeah.
So then, did you continually try to sit in with other people when you had the band?
Yeah.
And so that was
Yeah.
something you've always done?
I love sitting in with people, and in fact, that wasn't the only family vacation. From then on, like if we would go on vacation, there would be times where there'd be a hotel band, and if I got to talk to them, I would never ask to sit in. I would never want to be, presumptuous, or I don't like it when somebody comes up to me and says, my buddy's really good, you gotta get him up here to play. But if we talked music, every once in a while, somebody would be like, well, why don't you get up and play, So that happened throughout, I don't know, my middle school through high school, all the years that my family would do little family vacations and stuff.
And you'd go up and play lead with them and stuff?
Sure.
What? So, that's the thing I'm blown away by. So did you learn scales and stuff like that, or were you mostly learning solos from?
I didn't learn. Okay.
Just so you know that. Yeah.
Well, what occurred to me at a young age, I didn't learn any scales. There were two quintessential little lessons. One.
I'm learning here. Hold on.
Yeah. The first thing that I learned through my dad was the two of us would play together, and he would play lead guitar, and a lot of times I would get enamored with what he was doing, and then I would lose time. And so he'd stop and be like, if you don't do what you do, I can't do what I do. So that was my first education on learning how to play with other people. You had to have time in order for other people to bring their parts to the table. And then as far as like lead stuff, solo stuff, it started to occur to me at a young age that if there was that was like,
Do that again.
or those types of things. I never really learned a whole lot of solos note for note. I would learn little pieces of them and then just, and then you could find other places to apply them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like little, I know what you're talking about. Kind of cut and paste, I know what I mean. The word escapes me. But so it was just like a bunch of little things like that, and then how did you learn to put them in the right key, kind of? Just trial and error?
Yeah, I mean, I used to just sit around and play the records in my bedroom all day, and just think about what it would be like if you were with a band, and that was the thing. I mean, now people have like jam tracks and stuff like that, but at the time, it was really just about getting to play with records, and that's how you would learn keys or things that didn't sound right, clearly weren't right, so you'd have to, move elsewhere.
It's funny that you say that, because that's only something I started doing recently. I was playing along to, I got into vinyl in like 2020-ish.
Yeah.
I bought a record player and decided I'm gonna have a lot of time to do this. When you first, was that record that your neighbor gave you the first Beatles record you heard?
That was not.
Your dad had to have some.
Yeah, that was not most of the Beatle records came from my dad, and like in the stack of records he gave me was mainly. I had most of the Beatles stuff. I had a couple of Zeppelin records, and then like all kinds of various things. But those were kind of the seminal records of the moment.
So what age were you when you first had your own control over your own record player? And you could sit down and have these moments on your own?
Oh, I had a record player ever since I was a really young kid, because my parents knew that I was gonna destroy theirs.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, that's what it was. And so then there was like a stack of records that I got, and the reason why I got them was because they were things that either my dad had loaned to his siblings that had gotten trashed, or I had trashed him, so he was like, "Here's your copy of the White Album," you know, that kind of thing. Yeah.
That's killer. So your record collection and everything makes a lot more sense now that you've been doing it for so long.
Sure.
What after college, when did you start going to try to figure out that you wanted to play more guitar and less you know, an angle of trying to find a life in English?
Oh yeah. Well, that I started playing without a job 20 some years ago, and it was simply because my calendar got busy enough that I couldn't juggle both. Yeah, which was pretty luxurious position to be in. I didn't know that would happen, but it came to this place where it was like, you can't really work full time and do this, you know.
It's a nice story to just kind of get pushed into that. Because
Yeah.
people go kicking and screaming trying to make it happen, you know.
I feel like I was lucky in the fact that you know, my parents were very encouraging about music, but they were very wary of me being a full-time musician. That was the thing. Like, you can do this for fun or whatever, but you need to have another job. And so I did all of that, but then music kind of came back and got busy enough that I didn't have to have the job. So, you know, yeah, I feel like it sort of found me again, you know?
And I think your ear kind of helped you out with having a lot more options of ways to go and directions with your music, you think?
Certainly. Yeah, I mean, I sometimes wish, and this came up the other day, but I sometimes wish I had more of a formal education. I suppose you can always continue to educate yourself, but I feel like I now see, like I feel very lucky with the ear that I have and how I've learned, but I feel like there are other things that maybe I'm not capable of doing because I don't have the formal education for it, and I'm missing certain tools, you know, paper tools.
Is there some time where you're hurting yourself trying to think of what to do and you know there's an answer but you didn't learn it?
Well, it's sort of like there are options where maybe I could physically play it, but I don't have the ability to read it or you know, properly notate it, and that holds me back from certain facets of gigs or work.
Yeah. Did you ever learn how to chart anything?
No.
No. Yeah, it's frustrating. I wish that I knew a little bit more about that, because it's frustrating to get handed those sheets sometimes.
Yes, that's exactly right, and I think sometimes too it's it can be stifling, right? If you're a songwriter, if you can't hand somebody a chart and say, like, here's what the song is, you know, that is a setback. And to be fair, every time I whine about it, somebody says, you could still learn now, which is true, but I don't.
Did you ever sit to learn scales?
No, I in my mid-30s, I tried to take guitar lessons from a reputable jazz guy in Chicago whose playing I loved, and it was, at least the way he proposed it, I couldn't do it. He wanted me to learn all the basic scales and stuff, and at that point in time, I was playing like 150 dates a year, and so to have to like break the cast, and I couldn't do it. You know, I tried.
You attempted for a little while, yeah.
Yeah, I did. You know, I was living in Warrenville at the time, and he was in Evanston, and things would happen where I would drive out to a lesson, and he fell asleep on the couch and didn't answer his door, and I'd have to drive back. So it also wasn't really inspiring to practice, you know.
Oh God.
Yeah, it's all right, you know. Yeah, he's still a great player, but those lessons were a drag.
Did you go to Nashville?
No.
No, you never made a pilgrimage there?
No, you know, I thought about things like some of the major cities that people talk about, New York or Austin or Nashville, but when I graduated college, me and my partner at the time moved to the city, and I found all these great people and all of these people that I could make music with, so like it kind of missed me, the idea of trying to go somewhere else, because I was surrounded by lovely people and lovely music, you know?
Nothing wrong with that at all.
No.
And it's nice that you don't have to go far to grow.
No, it was really cool, and I still maintain that a lot of the people I first met when I moved to the city are a lot of the people I still work with now and love dearly, so I have no regrets in that regard.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about when was the first big moment that you had an opportunity to go do something that you felt like was a next step for you? Maybe it was a big show or something.
Well,
like when you're going from after college and everything. So
well,
after college, you kind of fell headfirst into playing all those days.
Yeah, I mean,
knew too many people.
Yeah, when I got out of school, I moved to Chicago. I had a job at the time, and little things started to seep up. Like, I got hired for these studio sessions for this guy. His name was Brian Deere from Indianapolis, Indiana. He was a good songwriter and a really nice guy, and I got hired to play guitar on his record. And people I still work with now, like Gerald Dowd and Matt Thompson and Scott Stevenson, were all on that session. And the big deal was that Robbie Folks had agreed that he was gonna sing on a track, and all of a sudden it was like, whoa, I'm playing on this record that Robbie's on, and I don't even think we coincided. I don't remember, but there were little moments like that where things started to happen. Yeah. Certainly around that time too, there were some nights sitting in at Buddy Guy's club or at Rosa's Lounge where I would start to meet these people that I used to go hear play, and we would talk on a more friend level versus, oh my God, I can't believe I met you, and that started to happen.
Makes you feel pretty good that you're.
Yeah.
Well, you've been, and you're ready for it too. It's not like you feel like you're an imposter. Did you have that feeling too?
Oh, every day I still feel like an imposter.
Okay, well, I think it's a good thing.
Yeah, I think so too.
You're supposed to use it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I don't. I never want to be comfortable in my own skin. That sounds terrible when I say it out loud. But I don't ever want to. I don't ever want to not be grateful for everything. So sometimes removing that helps.
That's very wise. Most definitely. I wanted to write that down, but I don't have any paper.
That's fine.
Something over here. But how did you say that? When did you so you just came out with a solo album? What you said, 2023?
Yeah. And
have you been writing albums or collections of songs before that?
Yeah. Well, what happens a lot. I was thinking about this driving here. There's that great Lennon lyric, "Life is what happens to you while you're busy making other plans." And like I had a band out of college. I was the primary songwriter. We were doing all kinds of things, but then people started calling me to play their music, and then that sort of took precedent. And I was joking because we released a record in end of 2023, and then I finished this new one. We're signing off on the masters tomorrow, and I used to throw whole records away, like throughout the process of post-college to now. I would make like a record and kind of be content, and we're gonna finish this, and then I'd be like, no, I'm not doing anything like that. And then somewhere along the way that changed, thankfully.
So, okay, so you were doing that. I have a buddy that does the same kind, or never makes the album and then just acts like it never happened.
Yeah.
And keeps going. You go, why didn't you show that to anybody?
Yeah, well, you get to a place where you think, like, who am I going to show it to? And then you also, like, I had a lot on my plate musically, playing with other people, and so it just was like, that was my concentration. And I think the other thing that happens a lot with any kind of art is, and I'm facing it now with this new record, but I've learned to surpass it, is you get to a place where you go, why? And you start to wonder, why am I going to release this? Why does this matter? Why is this important? And that can be something that is very devastating to me. And so a lot of times I'd get halfway through something or whatever, and then the why would come up, and then I would think, I can't justify this and doing all this, and what am I gonna do? Like, I'm not gonna go on tour with this, I'm not gonna do anything. So I would just shelve it, and all those songs would just sit there. And that, I mean, that's fine too, but I guess you talked about in 2020 turntable and wanting to see if you could spend time learning stuff. For me, when COVID hit, there was a part of me that thought, I want to finish a record. And I had some songs from a few years before that I was really happy with, and we had most of them recorded, where I thought, why don't you just finish those tunes? And then there were some new songs that came out of it. So that one positive thing, I guess, for me out of that time period was the why just became because I wanted to, and I didn't need to please anybody else with it, and it didn't matter if I was gonna tour with it or whatever. I just wanted to do it, and that would be enough. And if I could make a record with some buddies of mine and we could all have a good time doing it, that's enough. That experience is enough. And I think that, I don't want to get too heavy, but I think that we, part of the why these days is we think of all these things, especially in a monetary sense. Like, well, it costs so much money to do this, and how am I going to pay musicians to do this release show? And that can weigh the whole experience down, but I feel like you can also get to a place where you just understand, I need to do this because I want to do this, and that's enough to get it off the ground right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot. Well, I'm glad that you finally realized that, but yeah, it's probably something that a lot of people will struggle with forever.
Sure.
But the new technology makes it a little bit easier to make a couple of those jumps, like how you're going to put it out or something.
That's very true.
You ever heard of the website Kunaki?
No.
Michael Heaton, mutual, told me about him a long time ago. It's you can order as few as one CD for like $2 or something like that, or maybe it's one something. But so you upload your music to this website, and then it just saves your albums, and then you can print vinyl now too. It's kind of pricey, but you just go to the item in the catalog and you say, I want 5 of this album, 3 of this one, whatever, and they send you 10 CDs in the mail, and so you don't have to bulk buy anything. And they print them with cover art and everything like that as they go. Just a little trick like that was what made it possible for me to feel like, okay, it's mentally doable.
Sure.
Where I'm not gonna totally kill myself buying 3,000 copies of something.
Right. Well, and it's tough because, and I don't think it, most people don't mean anything negative by it, but I remember when I was I still am, but when Backyard Tire Fire was touring hard, I remember starting to see how things got strange when people started burning CDs, because we were like dudes in a van, and we had, on paper and in practice, we had a lot of really great gigs and a lot of things going, but like the merch table, as you know, selling 5 CDs really helps the cause. And we started to see things like, or hear things like, people would come up and be like, hey man, I bought your record and I love it. And we go, great. And then they'd say, I burned it for like all my friends. And like,
come on,
well, yeah, and they meant well, right?
Yeah.
Like they're spreading your music, but I guess that's like the difference that we started to recognize is that like if you burn for somebody 5 copies of Revolver, I don't think Sir Paul will notice it. But for us, like being in this little local band and van type of thing, it hurt, And I think that's one of the downsides of technology as well, which maybe is why you would make your record streamable or something, because you don't have the investment going in it. But I think that process started when people just started being able to replicate paid copies of stuff,
Yeah, I never thought of, I didn't start playing out and selling stuff until after that was kind of crested, and CDs are starting to be, they don't have CD players, so people buy them, but it's kind of terrifying to think of of it getting taken away in real time
Yeah, it
and
changed.
watching the
You know,
sales
and
go.
I remember too, I used to think that, you know, because I'm like a big fan of like a lot of forms of rock and roll, and you could go to these websites where they would have Zeppelin bootlegs, and they would say, like at the site, they would say like, hey, we're just sharing the music here, we're not monetizing off this or whatever, and I would think, great, and I would download Madison Square Garden in '75, and then I went to one of those sites, and I'm not joking, and I had downloaded 2 live Zeppelin shows, and then it opened up a page and said, if you like this artist, you might like this artist. And I was going through it, and it had Backyard Tire Fire's entire catalog up there for free, you know? And I just thought, like, that's...
Hey, come on!
Yeah. It was a drag, you know?
But it came right up, kind of.
Yeah, it came right up.
Well,
It was
it's kind of cool.
I
Like,
mean,
that's
it was-
cool, but that sucks. You know.
Well, what to me, what to me was not cool about it was they were putting this thing on. Hey, it's all about just where these bootlegs are just sitting there, so we might as well share them. But then there was actual. We weren't the only one. You know, there was a bunch of bands that were in our genre that were up there as well, where it was like these are local bands where yeah, $15 makes a big difference. You know, it's gas money.
Was that the last time you used the website?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I swore it all off. You
It's
know.
funny that you said that. I totally forgot you were Backyard Tire Fire was the first time I saw you play. It was oh man, it was a town. Well, it's like a lot of stuff's big, just a picture in my head. But I remember where I was standing and how far away the stage, and I watched you guys rocking. It was rocking, you know.
Yeah.
And it was like I don't see enough of that kind of music. It feels
Yeah.
good, man.
Yeah.
It
I
was
mean,
some town festival.
Okay.
It was outside, or in
yeah.
a Chicago downtown kind of thing, but I don't know if it was downtown.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, we that band was touring hard for a long time, and it was great. But as far as like, I am enough of a person. I have been chastised because the record that I released in 2023 is not on any streaming sites, and that has rubbed people the wrong way. But I'll say this, like, I pressed my record on vinyl, and because that's how I listen to music, and I sort of felt it would be, as we were pre-selling the record, which we were able to break even with, and there's some copies left, but I sold most of them. But I felt that it would be sort of disingenuous to like have these people buying the record and then to be like, oh yeah, and anybody else can just listen to it for free. Like I have no, with my own art, I don't have anything to gain by being on a streaming service, really, you know? So I felt like, well, this is how I wanted to say it, and it's presented in the format that I wanted to. And if you bought the record, you would get a download code or whatever from Bandcamp. So if you wanted to take it with you, you could, but I sort of felt like there was no advantage to me. It's bad enough, like, and I don't mean it's bad enough, but like, you know, as musicians, I feel like we're sort of forced into social media and different things because that's how people learn about gigs. And like I use those platforms because I have to.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, and it's okay. And I like sharing with people who come to my shows, and I like learning about them. Like I think that's cool. But streaming is something where I can draw the line. Now I've been
Good for you, man.
well, I mean, not really.
Well, no, I'm happy to see it because,
but I guess my thing is like, if 12 people in Wyoming hear a song of mine, we're not going to go out there and play anytime soon, you know, so it doesn't really, I would rather it go to the people who paid for it, and it's sort of to me, I feel like it's a form of gratitude. I've been told,
special interaction kind of.
yeah,
too.
and I feel like I've been told by some people, and maybe this is something I would entertain, is that with the new record, maybe I could take a couple songs from one record and a couple songs for another as like sort of a preview and put it on a site like that. And maybe someday I will, but right now, I don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't seem that. You don't have any copies of that vinyl of your record with you, do you?
Yeah, I brought it.
Oh, you did.
Yeah, I did.
The 2023 one.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
gonna have to buy
yeah.
that from you.
No, I'll give you one.
Can you play us a song from that? Is that the earliest stuff that you? Have you done any shows of your original stuff?
Well, we did a release show, and we had. I'm not trying to sound like a downer, but we had like promo. We had promo set up for the album came out in December 2023, and we did a release show at the venue, which we sold out, and it was a good thing. And we were gonna do a couple shows, but then a few weeks later, I was in a car accident, and I spent about a month in the hospital, and that kind of thwarted promo. Yeah, well, it's all right.
You didn't hurt your hands at all, did you?
No, my hands were caked in mud. Okay, so
Protected in mud.
yeah. I don't want. I don't know how much we should or I have no problems talking about it. But what happened was, I hit a telephone pole head on at 50 miles an hour, and the impact was enough. I didn't know what had happened, and my adrenaline had kicked in, and I jumped out of the car to see what had happened. But my femur was actually physically broken in half.
Oh, buddy.
Yeah, so I collapsed, and I knew it was bad because I saw my leg moving away that I wasn't supposed to, because it was disconnected from my skeleton. But when I hit the ground, I had hit the ground hard, and my knuckles all had dirt in them and stuff, but my hands weren't damaged at all.
Thank God.
You know? Yeah, I was very lucky. So let me, here.
When did this record you did with Sunbeard come out? Was
That was before that. That's
that was a
2020.
fun
record to make.
Yeah. So, yeah, because this was, there's a song you have on here, My Wasted Life.
Right.
And so was that did you write that around the time that this album came out? Or
It was
an old
before
song
that.
that you had. And
Yeah,
you played it with them?
Yeah, that My Wasted Life came when I was playing in Cornmeal. We used to play that song, and then when I left that band, Sunbeard was looking for songs, and that was one I submitted to them that,
Oh, okay.
that they liked.
Play this, I want to talk about Cornmeal after.
Sure. Let me. So.
You notice he does all this tuning by ear. There's no tuning, and it's refreshing to see it.
Right on. Okay, so this is a tune that this was a there it is. This was a tune that was one of the newer ones that came from the 2023 record, and the new songs started to come about when we were finalizing the old songs. Like the old songs kind of sparked a creative side. no need to see the soul. I am with you and we're at sea, building slip by slip, stepping stone by stone. We never would have thought we wound up on the moon, and each a separate ship, connected by the storm, and looking for a place and one to take us home, one to take us home. And I am a ship out on the ocean, but I see a sail through the commotion. There is no need to feel so lonesome. I am with you and we're at sea, building slip by slip, stepping stone by stone. We never would have thought we wound up all alone, each a separate ship, connected by the storm, and looking for a place and one to take us home. Building slip by slip, stepping stone by stone. We never would have thought we wound up all alone, and each a separate ship, connected by the storm, and looking for a place and one to take us home.
Beautiful, Dan.
Thank you.
Did you teach yourself to sing?
Yes, yes, unfortunately.
No, you got a great voice, and it's cool how you switch, how you got the power, so you're singing the right way. You know, it's not all in the throat or something like that.
Well, yeah, I should say my junior and senior year of high school, I joined choir because
Oh, projection.
yeah, we all had a crush on our
Yeah.
choir director, who I still keep in touch with. She was very much a
Oh,
mentor.
good for you.
Yeah, she's awesome. But yeah, she did talk about singing a bit, you know. I would like to say
That's
that
awesome. You still keep in touch.
yeah, she's great. I would like to say too that there's this funny thing that I think about now, and I don't think I'll ever say this to her, but all of the boys, like, because she had graduated college, she was like in her early to mid 20s when she got the gig at our place. So we were like 17 and she was 24, 25, and all of us kind of thought like we were like peers, you know, but we definitely weren't. And she had just gotten married, and like I think about it now, like some of me and my buddies would be like, that guy's kind of a dork. And, you know, like as if we were real cool, you know. And he's like the sweetest guy, you know, like, I mean, whatever. But that was probably the extent of any kind of singing knowledge. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
And your dad didn't sing much?
No, he could sing.
Okay.
Well, and the thing with his band is they didn't have, out of the three of them, respectfully, I think they'd say the same thing. They didn't have like one pronounced lead singer.
Well, that's cool.
But they had three singers that really knew harmony well and how to blend with one another. And they had, like, I think that was where, that and my dad's brother, my uncle, those two used to sing beautiful harmony together. And that was also, there was also a thing when I was a kid where holidays and stuff, people would pick up guitars and sing and stuff. So,
Oh.
yeah.
Was harmony something you accidentally learned, or how to sing harmony with somebody? Because I had never sang with other people until I had to deliberately learn how to sing harmonies.
Talk to me about that.
About how I did it?
Yeah. And when was that?
It was 2018. We started a band, and it was the first time that I had been playing by myself for 10 years almost, and
Right.
so I finally I knew what I was doing, you know,
Right.
and then I had played enough things where I kind of learned how to interact with other people a little bit, and it was less reckless than when I used to have a band when I was young. Everybody's just trying to do their part loud,
Right.
you know, and just make sure I'm
Right.
playing loud, and you can,
Right.
you know, and then learning how to serve the song was
Right.
the first time that I ever I got to play with my old buddies from high school that put a band together, and it was the first time that I realized there's 6 other people. I have a role to do something, and I have to make sure that I just do my part good, and it doesn't need to be too loud because it's making that sound good,
Sure.
you know, stuff
Sure.
like that. And so then that was when I wasn't singing, I was singing backup, and so I had to learn how to sing harmonies, and then so at first it was hard to I would always just sing their note, you know,
Right.
and
Yeah.
and then I had to figure out just playing with the chords was somebody showed me if you just sing the other part of a chord, you know, like the third or the fifth or something like that. That's all you do,
Right.
or you don't, you know.
Yeah. I remember I started to learn too, like where my note would start, and if I ever got confused live, I could find a way to just hit that note right before I had to sing to trigger it. Yeah. You know.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I might have accidentally, yeah. I knew, yeah, that's a really good one because there's one part that was really tough to just hit the note out of
yeah.
the blue when you're just playing guitar for 2 minutes and all of a sudden you gotta go.
Yeah. Well, and you notice too, like the funny part is when I've got to work with some really great singers, like just beautiful singers, and it's interesting to watch them work because you realize that they have their own fears about it too. Like
What they're comfortable with and what.
Yeah. We did a record. Me and Ed Anderson from Tire Fire did a record called Magic Box. That was like when Tire Fire went on hiatus, we put out this EP, and we recorded all the vocals at Miles Nielsen and Dan McMahon's studio in Rockford, and those two just could sing glorious together, and so we enlisted them to sing some of the harmonies with us, and both Ed and I were kind of intimidated with them behind the board and then us like in the vocal room, and there was one harmony that he and I just couldn't land. It just wasn't sitting well, and so finally one of us was like, hey Miles, would you sing this line, because you know he's just got such a beautiful and gifted voice, and he's like, no problem. And he ran to the bathroom to go get ready to do the vocal, and Dan McMahon looked at me and he said, he's gonna screw it up too. And I said, oh, come on. And he goes, no, it's a weird note. And sure enough, it like took him multiple takes. Of course, he's on the record and he nailed it, but I think sometimes as musicians, we forget that other people, yeah, exactly. People have to work for it too, or sometimes, you know.
That's a good moment to witness.
Oh, it was beautiful. Yeah, and it was beautiful to get to hear him get to it too. Like that was the to me the magical part was not only was Dan right that he messed it up, which made me feel better about messing it up repeatedly, but seeing that moment where it triggered in his brain what he was supposed to do and then watching it exit his body was magical. You know, that kind of stuff, I think that's part of the reason why we do what we do, is you get to witness these little moments of art and beauty that you can just take with you forever, you know?
Yeah, and it's something that kind of keeps, it'll reignite a spark in an instant and make you keep going for a while.
Absolutely.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
And so you did that was an album you did with Ed, and
Mm-hmm.
What was that called?
It was called Magic Box.
Did he just want to put it out on vinyl, or did you put it out?
We put it out on vinyl and CD, and half the tunes were mine. And actually, I was very happy. Like XRT played a couple of my tunes from that record and kind of gave us a little bit of temporary love, as they would at that time. But yeah, it was half his songs and half my songs, and we had killer band for a little while, and then he kind of did the solo thing, and that's when I started working with Cornmeal a lot, and then that just kind of fell off the wayside. You know, it was fun at the time. It was a good rock and roll band.
And what did you call that?
Magic Box. Yeah, it was Magic Box across the board.
Okay.
Yeah, it was cool.
Then you didn't start playing with Cornmeal until 20.
Maybe 2013 or 14. I don't.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because Cornmeal was it's a bluegrass band from the general Chicagoland area, right?
Yeah.
And but Scott was the first time, and I'm sure I was well in the band, but I remember looking at the stage because Cornmeal had a new guitar player, and I couldn't believe all the pedals that he had in front of him, and I had never seen an acoustic guitar with pedals, and I just have this memory of standing there trying to figure out what I thought of it for the whole set.
Well,
And you said they suggested that?
Yeah, that was their suggestion, and their past guitar player had done a little bit of it, but we took it a lot further, probably because my lack of bluegrass experience.
You nailed it though.
I wouldn't go that far, but we had, what was actually kind of cool was I had a guitar at the time. It was a Taylor. That was like the Cornmeal guitar, and a guy who fixes my stuff out of Aurora named Rick Kramer.
Oh yeah.
He built this thing. So what my guitar had that didn't have at the time was it had a regular acoustic pickup, but then with the pedals, because the one thing, I'm sorry for this digression, but the one thing you don't want to do really is distort an acoustic guitar pickup. It just doesn't sound right. So there was a Taylor guitar system that he dismantled, and in the neck joint of my Taylor was a single coil pickup, a lot like a Fender Telecaster, and he put a push-pull knob on the thing, so I could switch it so that when I was using effects, it was actually, it was actually pretty electric sounding. And then when I left the band, that Taylor sat in a case for like a year, and so I just thought, I just had run it. Sometimes you just run a course with an instrument, and that was it for me.
Yeah.
And so a buddy of mine ended up buying it. So it's still around somewhere. And he has this really killer mod that I remember saying to Rick Kramer, like, this is something you should publicize that you do. Like, this is really cool. And he said, nobody would want that but you.
I don't know, man. Push pulls.
I know.
It's pretty cool.
It's a killer idea. And Mike Klug has it in Normal, Illinois.
Is it more normal to have the push pull to split pickups I have one that splits a humbucker.
Yeah.
And it makes it a single coil.
Yeah, that is more of the thing, but his basically switched pickup
instruments.
systems.
Yeah.
It was cool. It was a great guitar.
Are there any songs that you like to play or that you from that album you did with Ed?
Oh yeah,
Magic Box.
Yeah, I'll play you. So when we finished recording this, when when Ed and I listened to the mix of this song, I remember him saying to me, he's like, well, that's it. That'll be the one that will get played on XRT. And I said, no, it won't. And it did. And I remember there was a real joy at that point in time to hear your song on the radio, it's a buzz. This is a song called Lolo. When you were young, you smiled like silver, shimmering beams at the thought of your life. Walking along, your feet were splintered, and do you remember? And when you were young, you were built like timber, casting a shadow on all of your plight. Who would have known you'd burn into cinder? And do you remember? You got a meeting in your heart. You got a beating in your brain. clean of a world of strife. And now that you're old, your voice sounds gritty, a symbol of strength. Oh, who would have known your soul still wonders? As long as you breathe, you can see your life. And who would have known your mind still wonders of all that remains? You got a meaning in your heart. You got a beating in your brain. Your practical theories fell apart, and only your meaning does remain. You got a meeting in your heart. You got a beating in your brain. Your practical theories fell apart. Only a meaning does remain. You got a meaning in your heart. You got a beating in your brain. Thank you.
We're gonna take a break here in just a second, but I was wondering, is that song acoustic or electric when you play it? When it was on the record?
It was electric.
Yeah, so are you surprised how well your stuff translates to, because that, like the riff part of that song, you know, it
Yeah.
just sounded so good in an acoustic too, you know?
Oh, well, you know, most of the tunes in my house, 90% of the time, all I do is play acoustic guitar. You know, actually, that was
Everything's been played already on acoustic.
that's actually a brilliant thing that my dad taught me. Was he said that if it sounds good on an acoustic, it'll sound good on an electric. And he also, from a young age, he wanted me to build my muscles in my fingers. You know, electrics were so
Better.
slick and easy to play on and all that stuff. And he was like, you need to develop skills here. So like even now, like at home, it's just acoustic.
That's great. Yeah, the muscles are tough. I remember realizing when I tried to play acoustic the first time.
Oh yeah.
It's a different zone.
Yeah, it's an investment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, here, we're going to take 5 minutes and we'll be back in just a second. Thank you so much for hanging out with us.
Good.